This is the last of the book order for 8th grade and up. This is the last of the new books for this school year. There are several that I think are really good. So if you choose to get one of these books out with only a couple of months left in the school year, please try to read it quickly and get it back here within the 2 weeks so that other people who will probably be on the hold list can have a chance at it before the end of the school year. This first one is called Monday's Not Coming by Tiffany Jackson. Monday is a 13-year-old girl, best friend to Claudia, who has just returned to her Washington, D.C. home after a summer in Florida with her grandmother. Claudia is perplexed as to why Monday didn't answer any of her emails over the summer. Monday isn't at school on the first day, nor on the second or third day, not on the second or third week, not even the second or third month. Claudia struggles to make sense of Monday's absence, lack of communication, and her older sister's comment that Monday's not coming. Believing something is terribly wrong, Claudia seeks help from the school counselor, a teacher, the nurse, and her parents without much success. It isn't until she takes things into her own hands that Claudia discovers the horrifying reason Monday's not coming. This author just received the Coretta Scott King New Talent Award for this book. Sadie by Courtney Summers. It has been a hard life for 19-year-old Sadie, taking care of her little sister for the last few years after her mother abandoned the girls, trying to scrape by living in a trailer park in the small, forgotten town of Cold Creek, Colorado. When Sadie's sister Maddie turns up dead, Sadie takes off in search of the killer. When popular podcaster West McCrae learns of Sadie's disappearance, he figures she is just another girl gone missing. But his boss pushes him to investigate, and so begins West's podcast series called The Girls. As he follows Sadie's trail through dark and dangerous corners of big cities and small towns, he broadcasts his discoveries through a series of podcasts. Will he find Sadie before it's too late? Hooper by Jeff Herbach. Adam Reed is a high school basketball superstar. An orphan from Poland, adopted by Renata, the two live in Minnesota, where Renata is a college professor. Despite being a star basketball player, Adam has little connection to his team. As nightmares of Poland, where his mother died and his father abandoned him, plague him, Adam longs for a family. When he's picked to play with the best players in the state on an AAU team, he begins to make connections to his teammates, feeling like he finally has a family. But a police incident threatens to take away that family and friendships that have been formed. Adam finds himself having to choose between his newfound family and the sport that has finally given him hope. Two Can Keep a Secret by Karen McManus. From the author of One of Us is Lying comes another murder mystery. As twins Ellery and Ezra enter the small town of Echo Ridge, Vermont, a dead body in the middle of the street welcomes them. Having been sent to live with the grandma they hardly know while their mother, Sadie, is in rehab, Ellery is intrigued. The town has secrets. Ellery's aunt went missing 23 years ago when her twin, Sadie, was crowned homecoming queen. 5 years ago, homecoming queen Lacey was murdered. And now, through mysterious signs and the disappearance of a homecoming queen candidate, the town is being put on notice. It is open season on homecoming candidates. Ellery puts on her amateur detective hat and sets to work trying to discover the answers to the secrets of her mother, her grandmother, and the town. I Have Lost My Way by Gail Forman. From the author of the ever-popular If I Stay comes the story of three teens in the midst of grief and loss. Freya, a rising pop star in New York City for an audition, has lost her voice. Nathaniel has lost his father and arrives in the city with a backpack, a desperate plan, and nothing left to lose. Heron, having lost the love of his life, is making plans to run away. Brought together under some unusual circumstances, the three from very different backgrounds support one another in their grief and growing friendship over the course of just one day. Sometimes fate simply puts the person you need at the moment right in your path. A Heart and a Body in the World by Deb Coletti. This is a Prince Honor Award book. Something terrible has happened. The author calls it the tragedy. Whatever it is, Annabelle, suffering from PTSD and survivor's guilt, is running from it. After dealing with trauma through therapy for almost a year, Annabelle snaps one day at a fast food restaurant, abandons her car, and starts running east from Seattle. She did not plan to do this. She didn't think it through. Her mother is frantic by the time Annabelle calls her from a Best Western 20 miles away, but humors Annabelle by agreeing to one more day of running. The next night, Grandpa Ed and his RV show up. He has agreed to follow Annabelle as she runs to Washington, D.C. to meet up with a politician from her area. Her brother and two good friends form her support team, raising money and awareness through social media. It isn't long before people from all across the country are cheering her on. Throughout the run, Annabelle has flashbacks that hint at what she's running from, but you won't discover the tragedy until the end of the novel. On the Come Up by Angie Thomas. Is freedom of speech always free? Maybe not if you're a young African American like 16-year-old Bree. As the daughter of a rapper who was just about to make it to the big time before his murder, Bree has a goal of becoming one of the greatest rappers of all times. But first, she has to win her first competition. She pours her heart and soul into her performance and it goes viral, but for all the wrong reasons. Instead of a star, she is portrayed as a threat. Add to this problem the fact that her family is constantly battling poverty at home. For those that have read Thomas's first book, The Hate U Give, Bree's neighborhood problems of Garden Heights will be all too familiar. And our last new book, 5 Feet Apart by Rachel Lippincott. The movie that all the girls are talking about. We finally have the accompanying book. You may know the story. 3 teens with cystic fibrosis, a terminal disease that limits lung function. Stella is in the hospital for a regular treatment, trying to stay healthy while waiting for a lung transplant. Poe is her friend that she connects with, mostly via video chats. His condition is a bit more serious. New guy Will, also with an added infection complicating his health, arrives at the hospital as part of a clinical trial his wealthy parents have arranged him to be a part of. He's turning 18 in 2 weeks and can't wait to be independent of the procedures and his parents so he can live his life before he dies. A romantic relationship develops, but cystic fibrosis patients must remain 6 feet apart to prevent passing additional germs on to the other person. So where does the title 5 Feet Apart come in? Read the book to find out. This is perfect for lovers of The Fault in Our Stars and Everywhere, Everywhere. But this one's going to be popular like so many of the others in this group. Please try to limit your time with the book to 2 weeks so that others on the waiting list will be able to read it as well. Thanks for listening. I hope you found some books that you want to read. Make a note of them. If you don't get them before the end of the school year, get them checked out from the public library over the summer.